Today, we're kicking off a multi part series, an enthralling journey into building AI and ML powered apps using FlutterFlow. Brace yourself for the first video where we lay the groundwork and set up an example application that will later act as our playground to experiment with advanced AI, ML, and data engineering concepts. The behind the scenes hero, Firebase from Google Cloud backing our FlutterFlow project. With Google's AI and ML capabilities injected into the mix, you're in for some cutting-edge action. Of course, with the FlutterFlow framework, we're well equipped for either mobile or web-based flavors of our application. If you already have a FlutterFlow app and want to jump right into the AI and ML concepts, skip straight to part 2 of this series. We're beginning with the Starter app, a nifty travel app that lets us explore and favorite interesting destinations. Getting this Starter app is as easy as a click. We'll clone it into our project and voila, we're up and running. For convenience, we've dropped the link to the Starter app in the video description. If you'd like to follow along with some text-based instructions in hand, we'll include a link to the associated Getting Started documentation. Are you ready to have some fun with this app? We'll start by creating a feature around favoriting destinations and showcase some custom styling. Let's start with a button to get our favorites page. We'll handle the actual linking later. You'll just look for the icon button element and drag it into our top navigation menu. Fiddle around with the look, clear the color, and give it a clean button aesthetic. Next, let's explore the widget tree and add the list view to our app so that we can nicely show all of our travel destinations. We'll fill up the space and hunt for an attractive, engaging template. Speaking of engagement, how about adding a favoriting function to these destination cards? We'll add a conditional visibility builder in our row and deck it out with an icon button for favoriting. Let's add a heart icon, which will be empty when a location isn't yet favorited. But we won't just stop there. We need to design a separate page to display our favorites. Let's create the page and deck it out with only the required elements. We'll personalize the title, refine the app bar styles, and spruce up the text. And without forgetting, we'll add an action to our favorites button, connecting it to the new favorites page from the homepage. As a fun next step, it's time to touch up the design with animations and theme settings for fonts and colors. We're changing both the primary and secondary fonts here. And drumroll please, let's add a night owl friendly dark mode setting, an exciting switch that dramatically changes the look of our app. This card styling is not quite right in dark mode. Let's fix it up. Next, let's connect our app to Firebase and make our project come to life. We'll be doing a lot of the setup in Firebase itself. Time to create a new project where we'll use the same name as our FlutterFlow project. Have a Google Cloud set up already? If so, ensure the organization is a match so your project is tucked neatly under the existing Google Cloud resource hierarchy. And remember to check all the required boxes. For now, we'll give Google Analytics a pass, but who knows? Maybe we'll delve into it in one of our future adventures. Onwards to our project screen where we'll add the magical FlutterFlow permissions to our project. Here's how. Go to the project settings, then to the users and permissions. We then grant editor privileges to the Firebase FlutterFlow service account. Ever glanced at the Advanced Permission Settings link on that page? It's a portal that transports us to Google Cloud. There, you'll find our Firebase account equipped with an editor role. Our next move is to amplify the permissions by bestowing upon this account the power of Service Account User and Cloud Functions Admin. This will be useful later. Now for the exciting addition, a database. We'll summon this by returning to Firebase and descending into the Build section. To keep it simple, we'll begin in a test mode. Bear in mind, this should change as you productionalize. Now all that's left is to power it up and we'll watch as our database comes to life. Snap back to the FlutterFlow setup and insert the project ID. Did you notice it's the same project ID as we have in Google Cloud? Let's proceed, pass through the Connect section, and land on Firestore. We've made it with a resounding success message echoing in our project as we've added that Firestore under permission. Final pieces of our quest, configuration files, which will be magically generated for us, let's also create a user collection, along with a collection called Places for our destination data. Now we get to bring our data alive. Click Manage Content to upload a CSV file of example data. We'll link to that example data in the video description. Next up, we'll use that Firestore data in our app. We'll edit the list view and set a backend query. Use the Places collection. Ready for the finishing touches? Let's tweak our card details. For example, clicking on the image will allow us to change the image path so that it comes from our Places document. And now we need to track if these destinations have been marked as favorites, right? So let's crack this open, head over to our trusty conditional builder element to weave in the isFavorite value control. What are we aiming at? When a user clicks on this button, the favorite status will toggle. To achieve this, let's fashion two cases, one for when it's crowned a favorite and one for when it's removed from the favorite list. I can almost hear your thoughts. There's one final step looming, isn't there? It's time to flaunt our favorite spots on the favorites page. Back to the conditional builder, update this page using a backend query for our list view, curiously similar to the one we did before. But we now have a vital addition, a filter to make sure only our favorites make it into the list. Let's get all our variables to use that new data. Our image, for instance, will now use the image path from the associated destination record. We seem to be more or less finished. We've constructed a strong, towering foundation for our FlutterFlow application. Up for a quick test drive? Let's go for it. The preview looks promising. Why not run the app in test mode now? A little hurdle, we have a couple of errors to resolve before launching. We need an entry page and a logged in page. How about altering these here and, for now, let both be the homepage? That's the spirit. Our placeholders have now transformed into actual places. Shall we peek into our favorites page with all of our beloved locations? And why not test the unfavoriting feature? We've just removed Buckingham Palace from our list. But let's pop it back on. And there it is again. So we've made a great start. With this foundation, we're ready to pump in more advanced AI features, more capabilities that would add magic to our application in the upcoming videos in this series. Thanks for joining us, and please enjoy responsibly.